Hello, Glenwood. This is Pastor James, and I wanted to give you an update on what we are looking at for this coming Sunday. You may have heard already that we are not going to do Sunday school this coming Sunday. This was actually a decision, sometimes decisions come from the staff down. This was actually a decision that came from the Sunday school leadership up. We had some conversation with Sunday school leadership. We took a survey of Sunday school teachers. Many of them have concerns about their level of exposure. They're caregivers. They have immune-compromised people at home. And a majority of Sunday school leadership felt like it would be best to not do Sunday school for at least another week. So that's where we are. We are not going to have Sunday school this coming Sunday at Glenwood. And with that, we are going to have one worship service. That will be our 8:30 worship service. Masks will be enforced. We're going to ask you to keep your mask on for the duration of the worship service. I will have my mask on up until I preach, and then I'll take it off, and then I'll put it back on when I'm done preaching. And we're going to ask you to keep your masks on for the duration of the service. We're also going to mark off the pews again with the blue tape that we had at the beginning of the pandemic. That means that we're asking you to have no more than 2 family units on the same pew and no more than 6 people total on one pew, as we did at the beginning of the pandemic. We are hoping to avoid going back to a registration process. We're going to look at things this week and see how it shakes out with one service. But we don't want to go back to the registration if we can avoid it. We are going to have the overflow room, and I want to encourage you, if you come into the sanctuary and you see that it's crowded, just continue to go straight on back to the fellowship hall and worship with us in the overflow room. So that is our schedule. Again, for this coming Sunday, no Sunday school, one worship service at 8:30. All right. I want to thank you for your continued patience, for your prayers, for your texts and words of support. These are difficult days. Yesterday, we saw things in our country that probably none of us expected to see in our lifetime. But want to remind you that our call is to be people of peace in our world. Remember the words of Ephesians 4:29 through 32. Don't let any corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only what is good for the building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to all who hear. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. Keep that in mind as you interact with other people in our community, as you express yourself on social media, as you process the events going on in our nation. And let's remember that God has called us to be ambassadors of reconciliation, to bring people together. And there's a famous line from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, of all places, that he said, when I was a child and I would see scary things on the news, my mother would say, just look for the helpers. There will always be people who are willing to help. And I want to say that to you, Glenwood family, as well. There are people in our congregation that are looking for ways to help. If you have a need, whether it is somebody to bring groceries to you, somebody who somebody who's lonely and just wants somebody to talk to, please call the church office and reach out to us. We have men and women in the church that have said, let us know if there's needs in our community. And we are ready and willing to help. So Glenwood family, look for the helpers. And Glenwood family, be the helpers to other people, be ambassadors of reconciliation. We love you. We are praying for you. We're going to get through this together, and we're going to have a great day of worship on Sunday. See you then.